Joining us now, Molly Vogt. Molly co-hosts 2 radio shows, not 1 like me, but 2. The Americhicks, Molly and Kim, weekdays 6 to 7 a.m. This is in Colorado, KLZ 560 AM, as well as the Americhicks WW2 World War II Project, Sundays 1 to 2 on KEZW 1430 AM. She founded Vogt for Colorado, a consultant firm. She serves as the chair of the advisory board for the Article 5 Act 2 Blueprint. She also serves on the board of the Colorado Republican Business Coalition, and she's a director of My Purse Politics, and she has served as both a field and outreach director for the Americans for Prosperity Foundation, also a founding sponsor of the John Fredericks Radio Network. Molly, great to have you.
Good morning, John. How are you doing today?
Hey, Molly, never better. I'd like to see all the tax returns of all. How do you go to Congress, Molly? How do you go to Congress, make $175,000, you stay 3, maybe 5 terms, you get out, and, you're filthy rich? How do you do that? Is there a model for this? Is there, a blueprint? I want to do that.
Oh, my gosh. Our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves, John. I tell you that. You remember, you look back at what, George Washington and all those guys were doing. They never, ever intended for our elected leaders to actually serve for life. I mean, that was a side deal. That was a side job. They were in a hurry to get back home and do their jobs, be with their families, work on their farms. They all had their own businesses, John. They were not meant to be there for life. They weren't supposed to make their living doing politics. They would seriously be rolling over in their graves right now, I think, if they knew what was going on.
It's a damn good living also.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, and big business and big government love each other, John. I mean, you're totally right on talking about Nancy Pelosi and her houses and her millions. And look at the Clinton Foundation. How do you make that much money unless you are taking bribes from some very bad guys? That's what I think about these days.
Pay to play, Molly. I mean, I always think of the best example of this, and he's in jail now for other stuff, but the best example of this, and it cuts both sides, this is nonpartisan, is former Speaker of the House from Illinois, Denny Hastert. Hastert came to Congress. He was a wrestling coach, and he taught high school history. Came to Congress, he had $5,000 in savings. That's all he had, $5,000, right? Guy was broke, gets elected to Congress, serves there 30 years, speaker, whatever, comes out, he's a billionaire. How the hell do you do that on $180,000, right? What do they do? They buy land because they know there's going to be an interstate put up. They get inside baseball, insider trading. All of a sudden, they're bajillionaires. That's got to be the model. Get elected to Congress and go manipulate the system, and you come out a bajillionaire. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's, John, why I talk so much on behalf of small business owners, because it's the little business owners that really get hit hard by all of the regulations and the taxes and all the stuff that these politicians pass, because big business and big government love each other. Once you start out as a small take Uber, for instance, right? They started out as a small group, little entrepreneurs doing their thing, and they were fighting against the huge taxi lobby, right? I mean, they wanted their opportunity, and the unions were pushing back hard. No way, we have a monopoly. You cannot get into the system. Then by the time the Uber got big enough to actually pay to play with the government, then they started getting special favors as well. And that's what happens. You're big enough now, you can go around all the government policies, but the little guys still get hit. And that's what really hurts innovation and entrepreneurship. And John, look at small businesses. 30 million plus small businesses in the United States. We employ half the workforce. 60 million people plus. 2/3 of all new job creation come from small business owners. But when the policies from big business, big government type politicians get into place, it squashes us. It pushes us out, and that's what's happening in Colorado right now.
Tell us about the state of small businesses right now, because we look at income going up, we look at jobs going up, but the number, 2 things that I want you to comment on. The number of new small businesses starting up. People now have enough money where they leave their jobs, they have a dream, they start their business. That's number one. The other thing is small businesses growing, hiring people, making investments. Tell us about that.
Well, the average, I think, was about maybe $1,200 plus, maybe $1,200 to $3,500 for small. For families, just in tax refunds, money that they got to keep in their pocket because of the huge tax cut that President Trump and Congress put into place. And remember, I mean, we were begging President Trump and Congress to do this. We wanted a tax cut. We looked at what Reagan and JFK both were able to do when they reduced taxes, and we see, wow, that spurs economic activity. That gets people out there going. That gets our innovative blood, just pumping. And people had more money in their pocket and their take-home pay, and they start to use that to start new businesses. And if you look at Colorado right now, a lot of people have voted against any kind of ballot initiative or amendments or proposition in the last election period, last November. They didn't want tax increases. We have Tabor in Colorado, the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, that says that no politicians can raise our taxes without a vote of the people. We don't want that. And we did not want them to come after or hurt our oil and gas industry, because that industry, which I'm in as well, contributes, they say, around $13 billion a year to the Colorado economy. But, John, even though people voted against propositions that were going to hurt our economy, they still voted for the Democrats, who were going to pass laws and to hurt us anyway and ignore the voice of the people. And so now, for the first time since I think around 2014, unilaterally the Democrats have the House, the Senate, and the governorship here in Colorado, and they are just pushing through bill after bill to hurt us. Business owners are fleeing. Small and mid-sized oil and gas companies like mine are fleeing. At the end of this month, John, I'm packing up and heading to Texas. They're pushing us out. And it's really sad because so many, it's the ripple effect. When
right.
one business as big as oil and gas leaves Colorado, you've got that ripple effect. Then the hotel industry starts to hurt, then the retail
right.
and the restaurants and all these guys. And it's just so sad to think, where is Colorado going to come up with the taxes to backfill that? They're going to have to raise income taxes on everybody who's remaining. And I'm telling you what, John, it's not only oil and gas that's leaving, it's regular small business owners of all different types of businesses here. It's almost like the politicians want to hurt the economy, or they just never took Economics 101. They have no idea where the money comes from.
And Molly, that's why you're getting out of Colorado. We're with Molly Vogt. She's a job creator. Go to taxcutswork.com. That's taxcutswork.com. She co-hosts 2 radio shows, the Americhicks, Molly and Kim, weekdays in Colorado. Is that Colorado Springs? Where is that?
It's in Denver, Colorado, and it covers the entire state and a few outside surrounding states as well. She's
in Denver, 6 to 7 a.m. On her flagship KLZ 560 a.m., and she also does a weekend program on KEZW on 1430 a.m. Molly Vogt with us. So, Molly, tell us about your governor. What is going on? He's running for president? He kind of said he took his mother to see Deep Throat. I thought that was kind of creepy. What's up with your governor?
Oh, it is just so disgusting.
I mean, didn't you think that was did you think that was creepy?
He is a very yes. And you know what's crazy is that when Hickenlooper, and he's our former governor, now we have Polis in place, which is just as bad, if not worse. Actually, I think probably worse, but it really just depends because they're puppets. It's who's telling them what to do, and they basically do it. But, Hickenlooper, we all thought he was going to be all right. He was a Democrat, but he was a small business owner. And if you're a small business owner, like nobody else does, how public policy affects your ability to create jobs, pay benefits, pay good wages, and expand. But unfortunately, as soon as Governor Hickenlooper became governor, he started to just bend at the knees. And I remember he was signing bills and at the time saying, gosh, I know that this is going to be bad for business. I know this is going to be bad for Colorado. And I hope that the next legislature overturns this. But he would sign them anyway, even though he knew it was going to hurt business, which is really, really tough. And right now we have Governor Polis from Boulder. And with the oil and gas legislation coming down, that Senate Bill 181, basically they're saying that people are saying this is going to bankrupt Colorado. They are kicking oil and gas exploration out of the state. And so many different groups have sat down with him, John. They have sat down with Polis and said, listen, you've just got to pay attention. Do you understand the effects? I mean, we've got, business owners all around saying the ripple effect is really going to hurt us hard. And they said he either acted like he did not care or did not understand, did not know anything at all about the bill, but he's not going to budge on it. And so it's that. Additionally, Governor Polis wants free kindergarten for everybody. He wants all, expanded free services for everybody, all of these programs. And the crazy thing is how do you say you're going to pay for these if you were kicking out your golden goose? It's either they literally do not understand, and I think that everybody who runs for office should have to pass an economics 101 and a constitution test before they get their name on the ballot, or they're doing it with some shady intent. And I hate to say that out loud, John, but it just is.
AOC wouldn't be there if you made that criteria. We're with Molly Vogt, co-host of 2 radio shows, the America Chicks, Molly and Kim. She's from Denver. So Hickenlooper, creepy guy, takes his mother to see Deep Throat. I just can't get past that. Like, every time I see him now on CNN, I'm like, ooh, creepy. All right, so what's going on with the marijuana business in Colorado? Is it a cottage industry? Is it booming? How's that working?
Oh, it's booming. It's booming. And real quick, let me make your comment about, with the Deep Throat. It makes me... we talk about the hypocrisy about what's going on right now in America today. You've got the Me Too movement. People are coming out against, you can't say anything bad about women. You can't, don't, just so much against men coming down on women. And you've got somebody like Hickenlooper talking about going to see Deep Throat with his mom, and then people laugh about it. I mean, there's so much hypocrisy that is just really wrong right now. Okay,
it's just,
maybe that has something to do with marijuana. Let's talk about marijuana. John, this state smells bad.
Oh, come on! It really does.
It smells bad. You drive down the interstate and it smells like skunk everywhere you go. Now, I am a limited government person, and I am for the 10th Amendment, states' rights 100%. So, you know what? I believe that Colorado should have the right to choose it. But I also think now I would love for all the other states to choose it so people stop coming here specifically for the purpose of marijuana, because we have the homeless population has grown so much. And you know what, John? What I'm noticing differently about the homeless population is they're young. I think that there are young kids, teenagers, maybe early 20s. They're like, I'm going to move to Colorado. I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to just smoke marijuana all day long. And they get here, and they have no job ready for them and no housing and nothing. And they have no idea how high the cost of living is in Colorado because of all of the crazy additional taxes and regulations that our politicians have put in place. Housing here is absolutely ridiculous. So you get these kids here, they can't find a job, now they're stoned and they're on the street begging for money. It's tough.
I don't mean to laugh. Molly, but so the millennials go to Colorado because they can smoke pot legally. So they go to Colorado, they don't have a job, they get high, then they can't get a job because they're high. Plus, there's not enough jobs because Hickenlooper, instead of creating jobs, is seeing porn movies with his mom. So they don't have enough jobs. So then they're on the street high, but then they run out of money to get high, and it's just a mess. And it smells.
Yeah, and then they're very low, very, very low.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
okay, so
and you know what, John's really a good thing too is the fact that, thank goodness, they did not bring the legal shoot-up sites here. That was on the docket. Denver City Council wanted to invite anybody who had never tried heroin or whatever drugs go along with shooting up. They wanted to invite those guys here to Colorado. You haven't tried that? Come on in. We'll give you a safe space to shoot up. And then we're like, and then what? You put them out on the street? Are they going to be walking across the street or stumbling across the street? How many people are going to come in for that? And, Denver's a sanctuary city, John. So then what happens? Then we're inviting everybody who deals drugs to come here. Oh, man. I mean, it is a storm of brewing.
All right, let's talk about your baseball team, the Rockies. I'm an Astro fan, so truth be told, I hate everybody else. Colorado, 3-9, last place. Last year they made the playoffs, right? What's up?
Oh, I can't talk to you about Rockies baseball.
Are you upset?
No, I'm just not the Rockies fan. I don't really pay attention.
Okay, Denver, your basketball team, though, first place in the West, Nuggets. I'm a Rockets fan, so enjoy it while you can. You're going to meet us in the second round of the playoffs, Rockets in 6, and then you can go on to something else, Molly. You don't have to be concerned about it. So you got a couple more weeks of basketball, and then it's over. Tell me about your radio show, Marichicks.
Yeah, well, the hockey team as well. You know, if you know the Avalanche, I mean, we are finally in the playoffs, and we certainly did not think that was going to happen.
Well, good luck to the Avalanche. I don't follow hockey, so we're not on the same page there. Sorry.
There you go. Well, a couple things about the radio show. So I'd love for people actually to follow me at My Purse Politics, because one of the things I'm continuing to do is to talk to women about how poor public policy affects their finances. A lot of women here in Colorado that I've talked to, so, you know, they voted against the amendments and the propositions and the tax increases. They can't understand why are the legislators pushing it through, because they aren't connecting the dots between which legislators are actually voting one way versus another. One of the radio shows that I've had for 5.5 years, and John, I actually just stepped back out of both shows at the end of 2018 so that I could go further into the oil and gas industry. But they're excellent shows. I'd love people to check them out. The World War II show, Kim and I interviewed over 100 different World War II veterans. And it's really amazing to be able to record their story and share them with future generations. We had the opportunity in 2016 to go to Normandy, France for D-Day with 4 D-Day vets and the Police Activities League. And John, have you had the opportunity to go to Normandy yet?
No.
Oh, my gosh. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. But standing on the beaches with guys that were there for the first wave, Omaha Beach, talking, Frank DeVita talking about the fact that the day one, the beach water was red for days, and then it was pink for days. It took a really long time for that blood to go away. And when you're in Normandy, France, the people there remember Americans' sacrifice for them. They have American flags flying. They have American flags on their houses, in their schools, in their neighborhoods. They dress up for the D-Day celebrations wearing American GI outfits. They have our tanks and things that we left behind. They're playing, American 40s big band music. They are so thankful. Our veterans are loved there and get such a welcoming like they've never seen in America. It's totally worth doing. I think it's so important. One thing is here, you've probably heard of the Republic of Boulder. We've got some friends that have kids in school up there in junior high, came home from school one day and told their mom, guess why the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor? Any clue what they're telling kids these days?
What?
That we were killing their whaling industry.
Wow.
And that's what started World War II.
Well, it's that is beyond fake news. Of course, we all know the real reason that they attacked America is because of the embargo we did, and they couldn't get raw materials. That's the real reason. So you can put a lot of that on Roosevelt and what his foreign policy was, but that's just history. But look, Molly Vogt, I'm out of time. I want to thank you for being with us today. Thank you so much. Molly, what's your new website again?
Thanks, John. My Purse Politics. Check out My Purse Politics and on Facebook and Twitter, and soon to be the website again, because we are talking to women about how public policy hurts our most personal area. That is our purse. Keep your hands out of my wallet, and that is a message for the government. So
all right,
thanks,
my first politics. Molly Vogt, thank you very much. Also go to taxcutswork.com. That's taxcutswork.com, the Job Creators Network. Thank you, Molly, for being with us.